Hello, my name is Yasmani Perez. I am a junior at USF, and this is my Tableau project for my Information Systems and Organizations class. I will be going over some data I have from an Excel sheet that I going to rearrange in this Tableau program. And this is how it goes. Okay. So before I started, in the Excel spreadsheet, I created some pivot charts to rearrange the data and just to make sure like all the spellings of the different departments and regions was correct. That way, when we group all the information, there wasn't any miscellaneous sections in the data and everything was grouped correctly. Once I fixed everything and I checked everything with Excel, then I transferred the Excel spreadsheet over to Tableau. And this is the first sheet in Tableau I created. It's called Sales by Region and Department. Basically, it's arranged by the different regions. There's four of them. The year of sales, which is 2 years, 2017 and 2018. And basically it sums up all the sales in the three different departments: grocery, paper products, and personal. This sheet basically cuts down on some of the noise from the main data sheet that had a lot of information, so it helps visually represent the information in a better way. Just by looking at it, you can see that the personal department has the greater sales in any of the regions. Um, so moving on to the next sheet, um, I decided to pick the West region because just from looking at the first sheet, it had the most sales, and I was interested in the region with the most sales and what they're doing to help out the other regions. Um, so with this sheet, I arranged the information by department and items. So you have the individual items down here and how much they have made in sales in each of the departments. Um, so it helps represent, this bar graph helps represent it visually, the difference, in each of these products from just looking at a number. I use the colors for in the sums to give it some gradient. So the darker the color, the more sales obviously it had. Going into the next one, I wanted to give a visual representation of the second sheet into this map. So basically, this map sums up all the products, all the sales in each of the states, and I also included the profit margin. So the greater the profit margin, the more money that state is going to be making. So by looking at it, we can see that California is part of the main reason why the West region has such a high sales. It's probably due because of its dense population. In California, they have 30 million plus people there living. So, I also used color gradient on the sums on the states with the most sales, just so that we can visually, see, which ones are making more. If we use this little line chart right here, this little line graph, we can see how it starts off California and then it starts adding the other ones with the most sales. So from this sheet, I created this one, which breaks down the map a little further. It basically illustrates the different items and how much profit margins were in each of those items per the state. So if we look at California, since it was the highest, we can see that these two items right here were the main sources of their such high profit margins. And something interesting I found was all these white spots, all these blank ones. To me, it basically represents that they're either not making a profit with these states are not making a profit with these items, or they're not selling it at all. So I use this box chart to separate all the different margins, profit margins of each state with the color gradient to better visualize it once more. And then with the dashboard, since I was interested in what the map was showing, I wanted to put together the map and the profit margins, which breaks down the map a little further. I feel like they go hand in hand with each other. And then with the story, basically sums up the whole project. Starting off with the main sheet, which has the majority of the information broken down by sales in each department in each region. Going into the total sales and the West region by the different items, and then the profit by state in the West region with the profit margins. Then going into this one, which has the profit margins breaking down even further to see what products are providing a greater profit margins than others. And as we discovered, these blank ones, that either they're not being sold there in those areas, or they have a negative profit. And then finally the dashboard, which includes both the map and the profit margins breakdown. Basically, what I've learned from this project is what I mentioned here. It's pretty interesting to know that these came out blank like that. It's probably because like I said, they're not being sold, or they're producing a negative profit. So what I have to recommend these neighboring states is to take notes from California, and whether if they have to change their advertising strategies, or either stop selling these products in these states, or sell less of them due to the low demand and they're not making a profit off of them. That's what I would recommend to these states in order to make more of a profit and increase their profit margins, just like California. Another, what's cool about this Tableau is that it represents all the information in such a cool and interesting way. It's very different from Excel. I mean, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that Excel has, but using both Excel and this can make some great presentations. And I just love the way, in all the numerous ways you can rearrange the information and just present it to a class, or to your boss or something, and you can discover great things using Tableau. This is my project. I hope you guys liked it and you see what I saw when I created it. This is my second time using Tableau, so I'm still learning with every project I do and stuff. So um, thank you for watching. Have a good one.